Hi everyone, this is Sam from Gamereactor, live from Birmingham, and we're talking with Total War's art director Kevin McDowell about Total War, obviously. And the first thing we'd like to talk about is in Total War Warhammer, which is the latest release. How did you find creating the different races in the game?
Well, it was a huge challenge for us because in all of our previous games, we've done historical games, as some of you may know, when you're working on a historical game, you're really only thinking about humans. So we've got one skeleton in the game, we've got a female variation of the skeleton, and it's very straightforward. We can use motion capture for loads of the animations, and the designs for all the characters we're plucking out of history. So that's all very straightforward. So when we started working on Warhammer, we realized we're going to have to build a team up, so we scoured the earth for the best possible character artists and animators that we could find. We expanded our animation team to include riggers and technical animators because of the technical challenge of doing all those different races. And we also had to be very tightly design the animation memory budget in the game because there's so many animations and so many races and we have to predict for future if we're gonna want to do some additional content in future. It's got to fit it within the memory budget now, so we have to kind of start thinking about how that's all going to slot together. So we had this huge technical challenge, and then on the flip side we had a huge artistic challenge because we were taking, we wanted to be very faithful to Games Workshop's content, but in a way we're taking the miniatures as our base, and we were adding additional details to them, basically rezzing them up and working with Games Workshop to make sure that what we were doing was, that they were happy with what we were doing. So huge, challenging, awesome. Yeah, it's great.
You touched briefly upon it, but how did you find the switch from historical to fantasy or to Warhammer?
So I guess at the beginning we were somewhat nervous about it, and this is part of the reason why we chose to partner with Games Workshop. Because for many years we thought, okay, we want to do two streams of Total War. We've got the historical stream, but we want to see if we can expand the audience and try out new ideas, and doing a fantasy version of Total War would be great for that. But we're a little bit nervous about trying to create our own IP because that's not something that we had done before. So when we started talking to Games Workshop, we thought, well, this is a perfect chance for us to take that kind of risk out of our development and work with their brilliant and well-established world. So that's how we kind of chose to work with Games Workshop, and that's how we mitigated the risk of doing a fantasy game is to work with something well-established and well-loved.
What can you tell us sort of about future plans for DLC?
So other than what we've published on our website, I probably can't tell you much about future plans, but what I can tell you is that we've got a separate group of people that's working on DLC, and that ultimately, I would say, ultimately, our goal is to be as complete and as faithful to the Warhammer world as possible. So we're going to strive towards that.
Sure, perfect. How does this game fit into the wider Warhammer franchise? Because obviously there's a big universe behind it.
Well, I kind of think that in a way it's something of an offshoot from the Warhammer franchise. So we're working very closely with Workshop, but we're working on the classic Warhammer Fantasy Battle. So Games Workshop themselves have moved on to Age of Sigmar, so we're not doing anything with that just yet. So I guess in a way we represent the classic version of Warhammer Fantasy Battles.
If you could choose a particular area of history to focus on for future Total War franchises, what would they be?
Oh, I love this question. I have loads of great time frames that I would love to do. And probably anything I tell you now is probably not on the table at the moment. But I would love to do a First World War game. I would love to do a Second World War game. I'm very interested in having another crack at medieval time period. I would like to do an Ancients game, something that predates Rome. Love to do Vikings game. I would love to do War of the Roses, American Civil War, loads of things.
Cool. Is there anything that you could tell us that is on the table right now?
No. But there is something on the table. But
there is something on the table.
Oh yeah, our historical team is a separate team from the Warhammer team. So they're carrying on and starting to develop some new stuff.
How have you found the feedback for Total War Warhammer now that it's out and there and the feedback's got?
Yeah, I think we're quite pleased that overall our feedback's very positive, and people are really enjoying the game, and our average players are playing something like 100+ hours of the game, so it's pretty good. Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.